If you've been wondering what you actually need to start a wholesale business on Amazon, then you've come to the right place. I'm going to break it down into simple steps, and I'm going to tell you what you do need and what you don't need. I'd say cue the intro, but I don't have one yet. So, to the whiteboard. What's up, everybody? Marvin Leonard here. Welcome to Action Based. And yes, my editing skills are improving every single day, as you noticed by the snap transition. What we're talking about today: what do you actually need to start an Amazon wholesale business? In my opinion, this business model is very, very underrated, and there's only a handful of people talking about it out there. Everybody automatically thinks of private label when they hear the words Amazon FBA. And although private label is a great business model, it's not the only business model, and I think more people should kind of start looking into starting a wholesale business. With private label, you have to create a brand and you have to market that brand to make it successful. And there's a lot of steps that go into private label. In wholesale, it's very, very different. You know, you're gonna sell products that are already big brands. You're gonna sell name brand items. That brand has already done the work as far as marketing, as far as building a following, as far as building trust. And those are the products you're gonna focus on, because those are the products that we're going to sell to make the most amount of money, to have the most sales volume in our Amazon business. What do you need to start an Amazon wholesale business? And I'm gonna break it down in about 3 steps that you absolutely need, and then there's gonna be a few more steps that you don't need, but they definitely help. There's 2 things you can't get around. You absolutely need these if you're gonna start a wholesale business. No matter what you do, you will need these to become successful. And that is becoming a business. You can get an LLC, you can become incorporated or self-proprietorship, depending on where you're at. And you're gonna need a reseller's permit. You need to become a business, example, LLC, that's what I have. And you need a reseller's permit. In different states, they're gonna have different names, but I'm in California, so that's what it's called here. It's called a reseller's permit. You cannot start a business with any legitimate suppliers without having these 2 things. They're not going to sell it to you. If they do, then they're most likely not going to be a legitimate supplier that we're trying to work with. In wholesale, they have a lot of different names: distributors, suppliers, closeouts, liquidators, manufacturers. But for the simplicity's sake, we're going to refer to all of them as suppliers. This is easy. These are both relatively easy to get. I'm in California, so this was quite a process for me to get. This was easy, but this was quite a process for me to get, because in California the taxes are ridiculous. They ask a lot of questions and make you jump through a lot of hoops for you to get this. It took me about 2 hours to get this, but that's it. Then I don't have to worry about it again. They're going to give you a reseller's permit number, and if you are in California, you're going to need a reseller certificate for every supplier you work with, which you can download online. And then when you're going to work with a supplier, you're just going to fill out a certificate with their name, what you're interested in then buying from them, and you're going to give it to them. And that's the process in California. So these 2 things you cannot start a business without. These are key. So the next step is going to be building a website. So you're going to need to build a website, right? But I shouldn't even say build a website. Realistically, you can have your Amazon store be your website. And you're going to need to set that up through Amazon, okay? And usually the URL for that is going to be amazon.com/shop/your store name, okay? But you're going to need to set that up first in your Seller Central account for it to pop up, or else it's not going to work. You can't just go search this with your store name and expect it to pop up. It's not going to work like that. So this is realistically the only website you need to have some success on Amazon. You can build a website aside from that and make it fully functional. That'll also work, and that's also going to help you out a lot. But you don't need it. You can just do this. This is what I do. I don't have a separate website, and I have over 100 suppliers ready to sell to me at any given day. I don't use 100 suppliers because it's not necessary, and not all of them have good products. But that's just to show you that there's a lot of suppliers that are ready to work with Amazon sellers. You just have to look. In wholesale, if you get into it and you stick with it, you're going to realize that you only need a handful of suppliers to make your business grow. If you find those handful of suppliers that are great suppliers, you're going to keep doing business with them until you grow to, a huge level. Step 3. Step 3 is probably the one that gets people the most, and that's finding suppliers. Okay? This is where people have the hardest time, because finding a supplier is difficult if you don't know where to look, if you don't know how to find them. You can't just find a supplier and expect to build your business, right? You're going to need to find suppliers with great products or good products with good margins. There's big suppliers, there's small suppliers, and you're going to kind of be able to gauge that based off of their pricing. If their pricing is very high, then you're going to see that they aren't as big of a supplier in that particular product category. They might have other product categories that they specialize in and they have better prices, which means they have more buying power in that category. But if their prices are high, usually their buying power isn't as great, or they're just not buying a big enough quantity for it to be profitable for you. Because when we buy products, we also have to take in consideration the fees that Amazon's going to charge us, right? So you're going to want to find suppliers that have good margins on their products. And when you find a supplier, they're going to give you a spreadsheet, and once you get that spreadsheet, you're going to put it into a analyzer tool that's going to compare all of the products to Amazon, and it's going to tell you what the profit margins are, what the sales rank is, how many it sells a month, and then you go in and do further research. So you want to find suppliers with good products, because it goes without saying, if you have a supplier and they don't have products that you can buy, then you don't have a business. That's it. Those are the 3 steps that you need to have a successful Amazon wholesale business. Realistically, that is it. There's a few more steps that are going to be involved within each one, but for simplicity's sake, those are the 3 steps you need to follow. And like I said, I have over 100 suppliers that are ready to sell to me at any given day. That's not to brag, and that's not to tell you you need 100 suppliers, but you should be contacting quite a bit to find those good suppliers. But the number 100 is just to show you that there are a lot of suppliers out there ready to sell it to internet sellers, third-party sellers, Amazon sellers, or if you sell on eBay, whatever, they are out there. You just have to look. Okay, so these are the next 3 steps that you don't need, but they definitely will help. And that's a website, a fully functional website that will take your customers from start to finish, the whole transaction process, aside from your Amazon store. There are going to be those suppliers you run into that aren't going to accept your Amazon store or aren't going to accept Amazon sellers. So if you have that fully functional website, that will set you apart. That will help you get in with different distributors that only accept a website, that only accept, your own website, and they don't want you selling on Amazon. But again, you don't need it. You can get by with just your Amazon site. That's what I do. That's what I've done. So the second is having a warehouse. Some suppliers aren't going to sell to you unless you have a warehouse. And this obviously is going to take you to another level, but it's also going to come with overhead. You're going to have to pay the lease of that warehouse. If you're just starting out, there is absolutely no need for you to do this, because you're not even making money yet. You're not even profitable yet. But once you get to that point, it's definitely going to take you to a whole nother level. And then the third is having a storefront, a brick and mortar actual store. Storefront, obviously that'll help you a lot, because some suppliers that I've ran into will only sell to stores, brick and mortar stores. And some big brands will only sell to brick and mortar stores. And then some suppliers will only sell a certain amount of their products to Amazon sellers, and they will only sell the other amount to brick and mortar stores. So if you have a brick and mortar store, which is not as common, it'll definitely set you apart. All 3 of these are going to set you apart. All 3 of these are going to help your business. But again, you don't need it. I've been doing this for a while, and I only have my Amazon website. I hope this helped you guys. This is just a quick guide of how to do wholesale on Amazon. There's not a lot of content on wholesale on Amazon. Again, I think it's very, very underrated, but I think it's a great business model, and it's going to help a lot of people out. With wholesale, you don't have to create a listing. You don't have to do PPC. You don't have to take photos. You don't have to market your product, because the brands have already done it. And the way I do wholesale is with big brands, Samsung, Apple, PlayStation, Microsoft. These big brands have already done all the work, like I said earlier, right? So you're not going to have to come in and market your product. You're not going to have to come in and create another brand like you would with private label. So if you're already doing wholesale on Amazon, then comment below and let me know where you're at in this process. If you're having struggle getting started, let me know below. And if you want me to go more in depth with any of these steps, or more in depth with the wholesale business model, then just comment below and I'll do that for you guys. So like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in that next video.